The following is an exclusive presentation of the Alabama High School Athletic Association and the AHSAA Radio Network.
Hey everybody, and welcome back into Inside the AHSAA. Thank you so much for being with us again this week. I'm your host, Luke Robinson, always trying to bring you everything we can when it comes to the AHSAA and what's coming up and what's been going on. And this week we have the authority when it comes to all things AHSAA, and that's Josh Bean from AL.com. He'll be joining us today to talk about several things: basketball, football. The Mr. Football Award winner was announced. Several other people won awards for their respective classifications. There's some other big news happening in the Alexander City area that just broke today too. So we will get into all of that with Josh Bean and AL.com here in just 1 minute on Inside the AHSAA.
The CA?
A world full of opportunities.
Where are you now? Where are you going?
Where do you want to be?
These are all important in determining your path in life.
More importantly, why be ordinary
when you can be extraordinary?
At Central Alabama Community College, you can be anything you wish to be.
Don't put your future on hold and don't settle for less than excellence.
We are Central Alabama Community College.
Central to you.
Central to your success.
No, wrong! Bring it in, guys! Take it easy! Let's go over this again. Who starts off with a real Coke taste? Coca-Cola! And then Coca-Cola pitches the real Coke taste to who? Coca-Cola! How is Coca-Cola going to give a real Coke taste to itself? Take a lap, genius! Coca-Cola takes a snap and then pitches the real Coke taste to Coke Zero running up on the right. You got it? Yeah! At that point, we fake punt the real Coke taste. Who fakes the punt?
Coke Zero Cola.
Take a lap! Coke Zero! Real Coke taste!
0 calories!
Hunter Price is Coosa County's Alpha Insurance agent and has the knowledge to help you with all your auto, home, and life insurance needs. With Hunter and Alpha Insurance, you have a team of professionals to access your needs, save money, and give you the personal one-on-one service in your time of need. Visit our main branch in downtown Rockford or call us at 256-377-4955 for all your insurance needs.
Call Alpha. We are Russell Medical, and this is our corner of the world, where families discover nurses and doctors as excellent as any in the state, and the embrace of world-class care is as close to home as a trip to the grocery store, where the continuity of care isn't lost in exhausting miles of road, but just down the street. We are Russell Medical, and this is our corner of the world.
Welcome back into Inside the AHSAA. I want to jump right into it now with our good friend Josh Bean from AL.com. Josh, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. Hope you guys are well.
Doing very well. Thank you so much, and thanks for being with us. It's been a lot of news today. The Mr. Football was announced. Mr. Football winner, I should say, was announced, and let everybody know who won it.
Yeah, you know, it's cool. AHSAA Martin of Austin winning today, and he had such a great senior season, more than 2,200 yards rushing, early enrollee at Auburn. And so, you know, we got another North Alabama Mr. Football today from Austin High there in Decatur with AHSAA Martin.
Yeah, very big award for him, and I think rightly deserved. He had 33 touchdowns and about all the yards you could possibly want. And congratulations to AHSAA Martin. Some other names that were very intriguing in terms of winning back or lineman of the year in their respective classification. I thought Tulia Tungavailoa winning it for Thompson. Meanwhile, Pierce Quick winning it for Hewitt-Trustful. Both of those guys are juniors. They'll be back next year.
Yeah, and you know, you mentioned those two guys. Of course, Bo Nix of Pinson Valley, another junior. He was the 6A back of the year. All three of those guys are juniors. And so, you know, you start kind of looking ahead. I think it's human nature. We just got this year's winner, and you start looking ahead. Who could be the next one? Who are the top candidates for next year? And all three of those guys have to be considered to be on that list. I mean, Bo Nix, of course, led Simpson Valley to the 6A championship, and Talia had such an amazing first season there at Thompson. He threw for 3,800 yards. I think it was the third highest total in state history. So he should be even better with a year under his belt in Mark Freeman's offense next season.
And of course, the younger Tagovailoa is the brother of Tua Tagovailoa, who just set the world on fire for Alabama in that national championship game. Has that really increased his exposure?
Well, I think that, everybody already knew about Talia. He threw for over 4,000 yards as a sophomore in Hawaii. And I think really the question I think a lot of people had was, okay, what's he going to do against Alabama competition? And, he's playing in that region with Hoover and Mountain Brook and all of those Metro Birmingham schools. And that's considered one of the toughest regions in Alabama. And so for him to be able to have the kind of success that he had in that region, I think, he certainly proved that he can produce at a high level against high level competition. So, he came into the year with offers from Alabama and Oregon, and he's added others from. I think Tennessee and Ole Miss have both offered, but the truth is he's the kind of guy that is probably going to get invited to the opening, and we'll see what he ultimately does. But yeah, I mean, his brother's success has to help him, and I think he understands that. I mean, he knows he's going to be in the spotlight based a little bit on what his brother does, but he, talking to him today and talking to him previously, he seems totally at home with all of that.
The other lineman of the year in 6A was Marcus Tank Jenkins out of Park Crossing. This is one large individual. I know he's been giving Oklahoma a very strong look, but he visited Texas A&M last weekend and had a great time. What do you think are his reasons for wanting to leave the state of Alabama? Because I know Alabama and Auburn haven't pursued him quite as much.
Yeah, I mean, I think that in both cases, I think Alabama and Auburn liked him, but I think that ultimately they liked some other linemen a little bit better, and then, it became a numbers game. I don't think either of those in-state flagship schools really had room for him anymore. You mentioned how big he is. He is a mountain of a young man, every bit of 6'4" and 330 pounds. I asked him today what size suit coat he was wearing. He said it was a 56 long. So that tells you a little bit about the young man's size. But he told me he's down to Oklahoma, Texas A&M, and Ole Miss. He'll visit Ole Miss this weekend. He told me he's still totally open. He doesn't know what he's going to do. But I will say, Ole Miss will be that last visit before he makes his decision. And there are a number of other in-state guys who are in this class at Ole Miss. Jonathan Hess is from Vestavia, Kadarian Hill is from Eufaula, Jaquez Jones is from Hillcrest, Tuscaloosa. So Ole Miss has done a really good job of recruiting in our state this year. That might ultimately really help Tank Jenkins feel a little bit more comfortable there.
Were there any other surprises in terms of winning lineman of the year or back of the year in any of the classifications?
I don't think there were any really big surprises, but we did have some, there were some really interesting ones. Riley Russell, the Cherokee County linebacker, I think he was the 4A lineman of the year. He was credited with well over 200 tackles. He had a huge tackle number. He was rewarded for that. The 6A back was, it was just that was loaded. You had Asa Martin, you had Bo Nix. You had J.D. Martin from Wetumpka, who's, another junior there who had a fantastic junior season. And, you have to think he might play his way into that Mr. Football conversation next season. That was probably the most difficult one from a voting standpoint of trying to figure it out. And, Asa Martin won Mr. Football. Bo Nix actually finished second in the Mr. Football voting. So that tells you that how close that vote was for the 6A back of the year.
Well, Josh, we want to keep you on for one more segment if you can hang on, because I want to talk a little high school basketball. Also, some pretty big news on the high school coaching front where one coach is leaving a very prestigious school for another. I want to get your opinions on that. We'll be back in just a minute with more of Inside the AHSAA.
Team is not something you do alone. Team is plural. Team is arms, legs, blood, sweat, and soul. A lot goes into team. But what we take away stays with us forever.
What value would you gain working with Lee Marketing Group? With 4 divisions under one umbrella, Sign Source, Lee Apparel, R&B Media, and LMG Baker Advertising Agency, Lee Marketing Group offers a comprehensive approach. From logo design and branding to ad placement and everything in between, LMG can handle it all. For ease of time, cutting-edge, results-driven marketing campaigns, think LMG. Lee Marketing Group, your comprehensive marketing solution.
More heart.
More drive. More will.
More guts.
More sweat.
More dedication.
More practice. More control.
More clutch.
More hard work.
More fun.
More family.
More love.
More basketball.
Baseball.
College tennis.
More every day.
More everything. More
to come.
More Wilson.
There is a strength inside you, unknown and imperfect, waiting. And when you think you have nothing left to give, when each obstacle in your path is more formidable than the last, that's when you'll find it. And with that strength, your greatness will have no limits.
Take a knee. Let's go over this again. Who starts off with a real Coke taste?
Coca-Cola!
And then Coca-Cola pitches the real Coke taste to who?
Coca-Cola!
How is Coca-Cola going to give a real Coke taste to itself? Take a lap, genius! Coca-Cola takes a snap and then pitches the real Coke taste to Coke Zero running up on the right. You got it?
Yeah!
At that point, we fake punt the real Coke taste. Who fakes the punt?
Coke Zero Cola!
Take a lap! Coke Zero. Real Coke taste.
0 calorie!
Where there's action, there's Encore. Professional. Responsive. Dedicated. Encore Rehabilitation.
There is a strength inside you, unknown and imperfect, waiting. And when you think you have nothing left to give, when each obstacle in your path is more formidable than the last, that's when you'll find it. And with that strength, your greatness will have no limits.
We are Russell Medical, and this is our corner of the world, where families discover nurses and doctors as excellent as any in the state, and the embrace of world-class care is as close to home as a trip to the grocery store, where the continuity of care isn't lost in exhausting miles of road, but just down the street. We are Russell Medical, and this is our corner of the world.
Welcome back to Inside the AHSAA. I want to continue our conversation with Josh Bean from AL.com. Josh, we've been talking a lot about the Mr. Football Awards and the back and lineman of the year. Want to switch over now to basketball before talking about a little coaching news. First of all, the AHSAA basketball tournament is about to get kicked off, and one of the players that we'll probably look forward to seeing is Jamichael Stallworth from Georgiana, who scored 55 points last Friday night.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really impressive performance from him. It's a school record. I wish I had a really cool, witty Hank Williams joke to try to insert here, but I don't have anything like that for a guy from Georgiana. But boy, he was amazing in that game. You know, he made 5 threes. And what's really interesting is he's a guy who's had a lot of success in his high school career, but he recently signed to play in junior college. So, you know, sometimes you think, oh, a 55-point performance, maybe that'll jumpstart or help his recruiting. In his case, he's a guy who's already signed.
Yeah, all it does is increase his profile, though, I think, amongst people who will really be looking forward to seeing him when it comes time to be at the BJCC. And really just a few weeks. It really is one of the more fun events put on by the state every single year.
Yeah, I mean, look, the tournament starts with those area tournaments, but you know, our format in Alabama, I think, is really good. We basically have a week of regional play, and then those regional champs advance to the state semifinals and championship, ultimately to the championship games in Birmingham. So, yeah, I mean, Georgiana's a team that's been there the last few years. You know, Jamichael Stallworth has been a big part of that. He's a senior now. And so, yeah, I mean, I think that's a team that we sort of expect that we'll probably see in Birmingham. But you're right, it's not that far off. You know, the state tournament, I think, starts February the 26th and rolls right into that first week in March. So that it's a great event. The AHSAA does a great job of planning it and putting it on, and then, you know, we get a chance to see some great games year after year after year.
You think anybody can get in the way of Mountain Brook this year? They look pretty powerful.
I'll tell you, you know, they do look really good, and they played, you know, the thing about Mountain Brook that's so interesting to me is they seem to have played it better and better as the year has gone along. And, you know, having 6'9" Trenton Watford out there on the floor, you always feel like you have a chance. But there are some other, you know, of course, there's always some other good teams in 7A. The Sparkman team has played really, really well all year long. And you know, there's Huffman right there, this Huffman team that is in the same area, in fact, with Mountain Brook, has played really well. So I think Mountain Brook is, I mean, they're the defending champ, of course, and so you expect them to be in the mix. But with Watford, Spartans are definitely the team to beat.
You know, it does bring up an interesting point when you talk about Trendon Watford, and then you mentioned Bo Nix, and we talked about Pierce Quick and the younger Tungo Vailoa, a lot of juniors for next year in the state of Alabama. It could be maybe the best year for big-time sports in the state that I can remember.
Yeah, and, you know, remember, you know, the thing about on the football side is some of these, you know, big-time marquee Mr. Football candidate type guys, they're playing a premium position. You know, particularly with the quarterbacks. You know, you got Nix, you got Tagovailoa, you got Paul Tyson at Hewitt-Trustable, who, you know, also threw for more than 3,000 yards this past season. You know, so quarterback is always going to get a lot of attention. That's just, you know, you expect that to happen. And then in Trendon Watford's case, you know, he's definitely considered one of the top 20 players in the country in that class of 2019. And, I mean, you know, it's hard to know exactly how a guy's going to turn out, but, boy, he definitely looks like a future NBA player.
Let's talk about girls basketball for just a second. I don't think it gets its just rewards each year, but I've had the luxury of calling a lot of the girls basketball games when it comes to the finals at the BJCC, and every year, without a doubt, I see some incredible talent and some fantastic finishes. What girls team should people be looking forward to seeing that will probably make it to Birmingham?
Well, I mean, again, I think in 7A, it sort of seems like our collision course is going to be Sparkman and Hoover. And And, those two teams seem to be the top two ranked teams. Hoover's a team that's getting some national attention. They played so well all year long. But, I think I'm trying to remember if those two teams played last year in Birmingham. Honestly, I can't remember. I think they were both there. I think that's sort of the collision course. A few years ago it seemed like it was Hoover and Bob Jones. When are they going to play? And they built up a little bit of a rivalry with how well they played. I think, that's the collision that we see those two top teams in 7A on right now.
Want to go back to football for just a second and talk about a coaching change that happened in my neck of the woods. Coach Danny Horn will be leaving the Benjamin Russell Wildcats and heading to Clay Central. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I just heard about this a little while ago, and, I think it's a cool thing. Danny Horn understands what it takes to win in Clay County. Remember, he was the guy that led Clay County those 3 straight state championships in the 90s. I think he won 5 state championships as a head coach at Clay County. And now, of course, Clay County and Lineville combined and through consolidation, and it's now one school there. So, they say you can't go home again, but it seems like Danny Horn's, given that a whirl, and he understands the lay of the land there. He understands the kind of players they have. I would expect he'll have a lot of success.
And meanwhile, an Alabama coaching legend, Jamie Riggs, comes out of retirement where he had spent so much time with T.R. Miller, and he's going to go coach Houston Academy now. Yeah,
I will admit that this was a surprise to me. Jamie Riggs, has more than 300 career victories. And I think he had 293 of them at T.R. Miller. Here's another guy with 5 state championships on his resume. So, I'm sure other schools have made a run at him, but Houston Academy succeeded in convincing him. And, I don't know how quickly I think this was a team that went 0-10 last year. So he's definitely going to a place in need of a rebuilding job. But, there are a few coaches in Alabama now, and there are a few coaches in state history who know how to win the way Jamie Riggs knows how to win. So it'll be fun to see how that works out for him over in Dothan.
Josh, I want to throw one more name out there. You were talking about Ole Miss coming into the state of Alabama and raiding the state. That I think is a very wise move on their part. They also got Cavante Ruggs. I don't know if you mentioned him earlier. That's Henry Ruggs' brother who plays for Alabama. So they have really cleaned up in the state of Alabama. We'll be wishing all those guys well. And we wish you well, Josh. Thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Always appreciate the time, fellas. Thanks for having me.
That was Josh Bean from AL.com. Always does a great job when he comes to high school sports of any description. Go check him out. AL.com. Look for the high school sports tab. You can't miss it. You can check out football, boys, girls, basketball, track and field, baseball, whatever you want to see us there at AL.com. We'll be back in just a minute to wrap the show up.
So, you may not know it, but you've seen our work everywhere. For a combined 50 years, SignSource has been Central Alabama's premier option for all your sign needs. Custom signs for your business, club, or organization, wraps and decals for your vehicle or boat, full-color banners for your big sale, or a photo collage on canvas for grandma. All with fast, friendly, prompt service. Check out our website at signsourcenow.com. 888-533-6758. Go straight to the source. SignSource.
No, wrong! Bring it in, guys! Take a knee! Let's go over this again. Who starts off with a real Coke taste?
Coca-Cola!
And then Coca-Cola pitches the real Coke taste to who?
Coca-Cola!
How is Coca-Cola going to give a real Coke taste to itself? Take a lap, genius! Coca-Cola takes a snap and then pitches the real Coke taste to Coke Zero running up on the right. You got it?
Yeah!
At that point, we fake punt the real Coke taste. Who fakes the punt?
Coke Zero Cola!
Take a lap! Coke Zero! Real Coke taste!
0 calories!
June will mark 10 years of providing quality t-shirts, athletic uniforms, and promotional products for Lee Apparel. Our success is due in large part to the customers we serve in the Lake Martin community and the great state of Alabama. Our hopes are for many more years of success and growth. Contact Lee Apparel today at 256-825-0197 or on the web at leeapparel.com.
What's behind the CA?
A world full of opportunities.
Where are you now? Where are you going?
Where do you want to be?
These are all important in determining your path in life.
More importantly, why be ordinary
when you can be extraordinary?
At Central Alabama Community College, you can be anything you wish to be.
Don't put your future on hold and don't settle for less than excellence.
We are Central Alabama Community College.
Central to you.
Central to your success.
Where there's action, there's Encore. Professional. Responsive. Dedicated. Encore Rehabilitation.
Team is not something you do alone. Team is plural. Team is arms, legs, blood, sweat, and soul. A lot goes into team. But what we take away stays with us forever.
Hunter Price is Coosa County's Alpha Insurance agent and has the knowledge to help you with all your auto, home, and life insurance needs. With Hunter and Alpha Insurance, you have a team of professionals to access your needs, save money, and give you the personal one-on-one service in your time of need. Visit our main branch in downtown Rockford or call us at 256-377-4955 for all your insurance needs.
Call Alpha.
What value would you gain working with Lee Marketing Group? With 4 divisions under one umbrella, Sign Source, Lee Apparel, R&B Media, and LMG Baker Advertising Agency, Lee Marketing Group offers a comprehensive approach. From logo design and branding to ad placement and everything in between, LMG can handle it all. For ease of time, cutting edge, results-driven marketing campaigns, think LMG. Lee Marketing Group, your comprehensive marketing solution.
That'll do it for this episode of Inside the AHSAA. Thank you again so much for being with us today. We do appreciate it, and we will catch you next time on Inside the AHSAA.